Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai by Hashem Barakakwadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that tell us the truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work, and peace and salutations to the hopefully elect that is scattered across the four corners of the earth. To you I say, Shalom. This news article from blacklistednews.com, which came out September 19, 2023, entitled A Nation of Snitches, DHS is Grooming Americans to Report on Each Other. All right, the current date is the 29th of September. And I was going to go into a lesson on this article maybe a week and a half ago. And I guess the spirit didn't want me to bring it up, but what sparked me to bring this article back out was a video that the elder Ron from Birmingham camp posted into the group chat that went wise counsel from Apostle Hart, right? So he, this brother right here, GMS Just Jacob, posted a clip, a minute and 30-second clip of Apostle Hart pretty much going into the fact that outside of truth, you ought to act as Clark Kent, which basically means that you ought to act like you don't even know the truth, but to be a regular citizen amongst the people. And in doing that, you will eliminate the target on your back, man. All right, you'll give people, less of a chance to report you in a time of a heavy persecution that's coming, as we can foresee through the spirit. So yeah, of course, when you first come into this thing, you're telling everybody because you don't really understand. Wisdom is not really dealing with you yet, but you're telling everybody because this is something new, and everybody knows that you have been screaming about the Israelites, America going to be destroyed, Esau going into captivity, but it gets to a point where you just leave it alone and you focus on the ones who are within the same faith, man. Seeing that there's going to be a point in time in which these devils are going to build up a narrative that's going to deceive the people into thinking that you are a domestic terrorist due to certain talking points and certain ideologies that will be tied to these false flag events that this man will ultimately start to push forward. So once this stuff is advertised on the mainstream media, then now everybody else that is in line with this world are going to be groomed and prepped to be an adversary against you to the point of where they'll be willing to even cast you up and turn you in, man. Seeing that this is a domestic threat that needs to be dealt with. Because whether it may be your family, your friends, your compadres, people you work with, or whoever, they're all enemies at the end of the day. They're enemies of the gospel. And the hopeful elect, of course, have been separated from this world by this word to where we don't look at things the way these people look at them. Our life doesn't reside here, but theirs does. So at some point, there is going to become a conflict of interest, which will lead them to delivering you up, man. So let's get this real quick in Ephesians 5:15. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, all right? Meaning that you are aware of your surroundings and what time you're in. You can foresee the persecution that's coming because of the word that we teach. And so you're circumspect. It says, not as fools, but as wise, right? Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Yeah, and the love of many is waxing colder and colder as society begins to take a grip upon the people. People are increasing their frustrations, and they're looking to take out their anger on people, man. So there's only going to increase more and more with this devil pushing forward this narrative of domestic terrorists. Okay. So from there, let's watch this clip from Apostle Hart, and then we'll go back into their article and get some scriptures.
It was put up by not the Zakba, concerning a guy on his job, and he told on him, and I guarantee you, but I can be wrong, that he's telling that the Israelites, Israelites, when you go on the job, don't talk to any Negro. You fucking Clark Kent, bro. You become Superman when you're out there on the highways and the byways. If the spirit, when you just go to any Jake and just talk to them, man. You gotta be like Clark Kent. You gotta, you gotta do what you gotta, you a regular Jake. your regular check. And another thing, you shouldn't be going to family reunions. You shouldn't be with your family. Your family meaning your immediate family, your wife, your children, your mother and your father, and maybe strong, maybe your brothers and your sisters, because they can rat you out too. You might even keep it from your moms until all hell breaks loose. Because that's my cousin, that's my favorite uncle. Them niggas might rat you out. They might get mad at you. The co-workers, they gonna get mad. They get mad at you for some reason. They're gonna rat you out. The scriptures speak about let not thy left hand know what thy right hand is doing.
So yeah, and so to back up the apostle and what he was speaking about concerning the persecution, this article pretty much outlines it. All right, a nation of snitches, DHS is grooming Americans to report on each other. So let's scroll down and read some of it. All right, so quote unquote right here. All right, this supposedly happened on the time of the Holocaust. I don't want to say that word, a holo C, in which, let's just read it. It says there were relatively few secret police, and most were just processing the information coming in. I had found a shocking fact. It wasn't the secret police who were doing this wide-scale surveillance and hiding on every street corner. It was the ordinary German people who were informing on their neighbors. You see that? So it wasn't the police that was lurking. Of course, Esau sees everything, but he's going to give his people the opportunity to snitch on so-called domestic terrorists. Okay? So it was an ordinary German that was informing on their neighbors. It was going to be the same thing this time. Okay? So it says right here, are you among 41% of Americans who regularly attend church or some other religious service? Do you believe the economy is about to collapse and the government will soon declare martial law? Do you display an unusual number of political and ideological bumper stickers on your car? Are you among the 44% of Americans who live in a household with a gun? If so, are you concerned that the government may be plotting to confiscate your firearms? If you answer yes to any of the above questions, you may be an anti-government extremist, aka domestic terrorist, in the eyes of the government and flagged for heightened surveillance and preemptive intervention. Okay, so yeah, if you're on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snap, whatever it may be, these are nothing more than CIA websites where they can spy on certain people with certain ideologies. Okay, of course we on YouTube, but that's pretty much as far as it goes, as far as it's true, because we don't put our personal information on it as far as like where we stay and this and that, even though these devils know. But when you own like Facebook and stuff like that, of course you give people an opportunity to flag you on a higher scale and to mark you. Just like we mark these people that call division according to the gospel, where they marking us. They're putting a scope on us that are causing division within that society, man. So it says, let that sink in. Or let that sink in a moment. If you believe in or exercise your rights under the Constitution, namely your right to speak freely, to worship freely, associate with like-minded individuals who share your political views, criticize the government, own a weapon, demand a warrant before being questioned or searched, or any other activity viewed as potentially anti-government, racist, bigoted, anarchic, or sovereign, in which we preach that sovereignty is coming to the Israelites when Yahweh Shah returns, right? It says you have just been promoted to the top of the government's terrorist watch list. So how much more us who are speaking about the destruction of America, Esau going into captivity, the Israelites being set back on top, slavery, coming back, how much more us? We have the most extreme belief in this world. So if you're going around telling people that America's going to be destroyed, so on and so forth, we're going to beat the hell out of the Edomites and these other nations, 2/3 of our people going to die unless they repent. You doing nothing more than putting a target on your back. So these people, they got you in their mind like, this nigga crazy. So as these devils push forward their agenda with false flag events and they tie these certain ideologies, this nigga had a manifesto in which he was talking about blowing some shit up or whatnot or killing a lot of people. Well, guess what? The people that feed into that, they're gonna start looking at you like, yeah, that's one of them niggas right there we need to get rid of, you know? And so yeah, they're gonna report you into the authorities. You see? So it says, I assure you I'm not making this stuff up. So what is the government doing about these so-called American extremists? The government is grooming the American people to spy on each other as part of its Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships, or CP3 program. According to journalist Leo Holman, the government is handing out $20 million in grants to police, mental health workers or networks, universities, churches, and school districts to enlist their help in identifying Americans who might be political dissidents or potential extremists. There you go. Okay. As Holman explains, whether it's C-19 or jab, the war in Ukraine, immigration, the Second Amendment, ABC ideology, and child gender confusion, the integrity of our elections, or the issue of protecting life in the womb, you are no longer allowed to hold dissenting opinions and voice them publicly in America. If you do, your own government will take note and consider you a potential violent extremist and terrorist. Yeah, so there you go. These certain ideologies and beliefs that are not in line with Esau's agenda, his NWO agenda, they're going to be called out and they're going to be put into a certain category and demonized to where, yeah, the ones who have this type of mindset are going to be labeled domestic extremists. See? So this truth is really only for the elect, man. When you go to 2 Edges 8 and 51, it says, but understand thou for thyself. See? Understand thou for thyself, man. This is for your salvation. And seek out the glory for such as be like thee. So for the same ones that had the same like mind as our Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah, in which we teach and preach the destruction of America, the kingdom of heaven being established, Edomites going into captivity, and also the other nations. This signifies the ones that are not in line with this current life, the ones that have departed from this current world, in which now we preach wisdom among those that are wise, and not some two-third nigga in the world who has a long way to go for him to fully understand his truth. More than likely, he's not going to get it, and he's going to become an adversary. So it's best that you keep it to yourself. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. All right. So the kingdom of heaven is only for the elect, the like-minded. Right. So there you go. Because when his word comes out, it's going to cause division by default. Matthew 10 and 34 says, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, and a sword divides. It causes conflict, man, between you who have gravitated to this word opposed to those that are not. For I'm come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. See? And the man's foes or enemies shall be they of his own household. And this is going to be that trial of test as well, because your family can ultimately sift you out the truth due to this persecution. So that's why it says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Because these people who are not in line with the will of Yahweh Bashmal Shai are going to side with this world, and they're going to ultimately try to, turn you in to the authorities. Some are going to try to turn you in if they deem you to be a domestic terrorist, So that's what's coming down the pike. Let's go up a little bit. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 16. All right, where it says, behold, I send you forth the sheep in the midst of wolves. So be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in the synagogues. Right? And ye should be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. And that happened before, but they also gonna deliver up some of the men again. All right. But it says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. All right. So you gotta beware of certain men. Let's go to some cross references and read some of these. All right. Let's go to Micah 7:5. It says, trust ye not in a friend. See, trust ye not in a friend, and put ye not confidence in a God. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her the life in thy bosom, right? And that goes into your wife, who may not be in this truth, who may not have departed from this current life. So when that time of persecution comes, well, she might be interrogated, and she might be willing to give you up, you know, because of what's going on, the heavy persecution, man. And you can't even trust your wife. You see? Let's read this in the NLT. Where it says, yep, NLT, don't trust anyone, not your best friend or even your wife, man. It's that serious. Mark 13:12, now the brother shall betray the other brother, right? And that's even talking about brothers in the truth, you know. And the father, the son, and the children shall rise up against the parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. So what's going to take place that's going to be so bad to where your own family is going to be willing to give you up? There's got to be some heavy accusations laid upon the ones who have these certain ideologies, to where even your family is going to be willing to give you up in that day. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. A nation of snitches. DHS is grooming Americans to report on each other. And so, yeah, this is wise counsel. You should take heed. So with that, hey, Lord willing, you're edified. Until next time I say Shalom, DTA, and a Bible ball soon.